Slayer Pro.
Hello, this is Stampy Longnose, and welcome to a Halo 4 gameplay commentary. This is a 1v1 game played on the map Sanctuary, which I'm sure you remember from Halo Reach, and I'm here playing against my friend Pyjama, and this isn't a really competitive game, but Pyjama is a very good player, but I was really happy with the way this game started. I think this is actually probably the best start to a 1v1 game so far, and it's not because of that no-scope. It does get even better than this. I get a nice body shot on him here now, and then I throw a grenade to where I know he's going to be running, and I do manage to take him out. I look over to the rocks to see if I can find him spawning. I get a nice no-scope on him for the double kill. He spawns up in his hut, and I get a difficult snipe to take him out for the triple kill. And after that, I was like, oh my god, I got to play well for the rest of this game so I can upload this. And I was kind of thinking of just uploading this as a clip, but I do okay through the rest of the game. There's no moments like that later on in the game, but because of that beginning, I thought I just gotta upload this video for the entertainment value. Like, I don't have anything to really talk to you about in this commentary. I'm just gonna kind of see where it goes, but I just wanted to share this gameplay with you, and I've kind of become known now for uploading 1v1 games on Halo, and I thought I might as well carry that across to Halo 4. And it's kind of a bit sad that this brand new exciting game Halo 4 has just come out, and I'm here playing 1v1s on Sanctuary, like something that I've been doing for years on Halo Reach. It's just a little bit disappointing that, I don't know, me here playing Slayer Pro, I've got no ordnance, no radar, I'm using Sprint, which I always used in Reach anyway. There's not really that much different to what I'm playing now, apart from Halo Reach. I mean, Bloom is taken out, but we had 0 Bloom at the end of Reach anyway, and I mean, the way you sprint's a little bit different, and apart from that, there's not much different. The only major difference now in 1v1s is instant respawns, and on Slayer, you can't take out instant respawns. You're always going to respawn instantly, and a lot of people have said that has killed 1v1s. It's certainly made it very different. I'm not entirely sure if I like it. I mean, the big problem, if you want a 1v1 game, you want a relatively small map. I mean, this is probably about the biggest map you could have for a 1v1. You really wouldn't want anything bigger than this because the gameplay would be so slow. So you're probably going to be playing on a small map with sprint as well, and long-range weapons like the DMR. That means that from spawn, you can normally engage within about 2 or 3 seconds, no matter where they are on the map, give or take a few seconds. And the problem with instant respawns is that generally in a fight, one person's taken to a point where they've got hardly any shield left, and the other person's killed, which means you can obviously instantly respawn and then just take them out again, which is a big problem. So I'm not entirely sure if I am going to instant respawn, certainly in 1v1 games, or just Slayer games in general, to be honest. So that's probably the biggest thing you're going to have to sort of face. And I don't want this to turn into a 1v1's tips and strategies game, because as I said, this wasn't an uber competitive game. I mean, we're both playing to win, but you'll see there are a few points later on in the gameplay where I tried to go for a cocky no-scope or go for a snipe when I should probably have been using my DMR. I'm not playing tactically as good as I can. I'm trying to play a little bit flashy just because of that start, just because of the way the game started. I just sort of really wanted to, I don't know, try and keep it up for the rest of the game to try and make an entertaining gameplay. Instead, you're going to have to watch me miss a load of no-scopes and stuff. But there are a few good snipes coming up a little bit later on. Don't worry, the game doesn't get completely boring. And I suppose one thing to talk about is the maps. I've sort of said earlier that it's a bit disappointing that after all these new maps that have come out, I'm here still playing Sanctuary. And I do think that the maps are a bit of a problem in Halo 4. Not because they're bad. I haven't got anything against the maps. I mean, I think they're an improvement over the original maps in Halo Reach. I think a lot of the best maps in Reach were built in Forge. I mean, obviously, Asylum and Sanctuary being one of the most popular maps. Of course, a remake of Sanctuary from Halo 2. But I just feel that with this game, the biggest problem is not a lack of quality, but just a lack in amount. I think that because there seems to be such a definitive split between big maps and little maps, there's 5 small maps which you can play 4v4 on, and there's 5 massive maps which have got vehicles and stuff where you really need to have at least a 6v6 game for it to not get like really boring, and we've never really had that in any past Halo games. I mean, Halo Reach was a little bit more like that with, of course, Spire and was it Boneyard? Or yeah, Boneyard it was, wasn't it, for Invasion and stuff. But I think like Halo 3, if you look at their maps, they're pretty much all okay to play 4v4 games. Even Valhalla was actually in like Team Slayer 4v4 games. They're all okay for that size map, apart from I think Sandtrap was the only map in that game which you couldn't play like a 4v4 on. And I think that in this game, overall the maps are all just a bit bigger, and I know that because of instant respawns and sprint and like the great range of the DMR, you'd expect them to be a bit bigger, but in terms of just the massive big team battle maps or Dominion maps, like things like, I don't know, like Longbow and Exile, Vortex, and I mean, there's so many of them, I can't actually think of any. Meltdown, like all of those maps, you just couldn't play a 4v4 on them. They're just like specifically built for like large vehicular warfare. And I've just seen a trailer for the new map pack, which is going to be coming out at some point in December. I'm not entirely sure when. And unfortunately, it's just all vehicles. Like, you go through that trailer for the new map pack and try and count the shots which aren't showing a Ghost, a Mantis, or a Warthog. Even the one that they say is a small or medium map, like there's a Ghost like riding round on it, and my friend Ank actually pointed out there's a point where they're talking about a map and they're talking about like tight corridors and like intense close quarter combat areas, and as they're talking about that, they're showing a Warthog like driving round like a road. And I don't know, I've just been a little bit disappointed in just sort of the sizes of the maps and just the fact that they're not really built from for competitive play. Even a map like Solace, which should be a perfect map for 4v4 games because it looks almost symmetrical, it's got a sniper, it's sort of, I don't know, I suppose in that way kind of similar to something like Narrows or the Pit from Halo 3, some of the best Halo maps like we've ever had. Obviously the Pit is a favourite in a lot of people's eyes, but then they just make it slightly not symmetrical. They just make it so one base is different to the other base, like one base you can jump up to snipe, the other one you can't, one's got like more rocks for cover, and it's so close to being symmetrical, but it's just not, and it means that it's not good for competitive play. It almost is, which was what makes it frustrating. It wouldn't have been hard for them to have a completely symmetrical map and then just make one side artistically different. Have, I don't know, just a different type of wall, have moss on the wall, have one side that looks like it's maybe like deteriorating and have the other side looking normal, instead of actually changing the terrain. And I actually just want to draw attention to the gameplay here. I get him down to no shields, and look at that grenade launch, look at the bouncers, and I actually managed there to get a Hail Mary. I was really proud of that grenade, and that was another reason why I wanted to upload this gameplay. A little bit lucky with the bounce. I mean, I didn't really plan it to bounce off all those walls like that, but that just sort of shows you the situations when you should use that grenade launching glitch. And if you don't know what it is, I mean, assuming you do, basically if you sprint the second you throw a grenade, you kind of launch the grenade forward, and I see so many people like doing it in situations when you shouldn't. I mean, the problem with it is once, like, the grenade hits a wall, it sort of bounces around like crazy, and so you really need to be really long range or trying to, like, stick a vehicle or something when you use it. But I thought that was just quite a nice example of a good point for when to try and use the grenade launching glitch. And the glitches are actually something else that have been annoying me with Halo 4 recently. I don't want this to turn into like a commentary of me just moaning about stuff. Overall, I am enjoying Halo 4, and I do think that it is a good game, but just like all of the little glitches, things like the bolt shot reload glitch, and the bolt shot being overpowered in general anyway, and like the grenade launching glitch, and of course there's been a few places like in maps where you could sort of easily get outside the map. I think Complex probably being the most famous one, and okay, they've patched it really quickly, like they've been on top of their game, but the fact that a lot of this stuff did get into the game, you could possibly attribute it to the fact that they didn't have a beta, and I know a lot of people were annoyed about the fact they weren't having a beta, although I do believe that's as much because they wanted to play the game early as to do with any sort of glitch fixing or anything. But unfortunately, we're here just about getting to the end of this game. As you see, I do win by quite a healthy margin. I think it was 20 kills to 8. So hopefully you enjoyed this commentary and this gameplay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.